Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And reviewing another Disney movie, which is another one that I grew up with the movie, but I didn't watch it a whole lot of times. Like on um like The Lion King or Beauty and the Beast or like those other classic Disney films I grew up with, Pinocchio or Cinderella, Little Mermaid. Yeah, but I still like the movie, but I just didn't watch it a whole lot. I remember I had it on old VHS tape as well. But watching it again, I still enjoy the film. Just it's just one of those Disney films that you grew up with, but you just didn't watch a whole lot, even though you did like it though. But this is one of those ones though. And for this one, I'm reviewing is the 1995 anime film, a Goofy movie, starring Goofy himself, and along with his son Max. It was released in 1995. It opened on the same weekend as Michael Bay's debut with the first Bad Boys film. That was his first film. It won over that weekend. This came in second place, but it did perform pretty good on overall. Made a total of 35 million with its minimum against its minimum budget. So even though it was given mixed reviews, so it has 53% Rotten Tomatoes, but it has a 6.8 IMDb, which is kind of high. But and it's also a short film as well. It's only on for about 70 minutes, without end credits. About maybe cut down to 70, maybe 74, 73, maybe. So yeah, it's a short film, so it's very well paced. And on the back, Siskel and Ebert gave the film a thumbs up. We look right there, thumbs up from Siskel and Ebert, which is kind of funny. They like about a film with Goofy in it. But I remember the film growing up. I had an old VHS, but I didn't watch it a whole bunch of times though. But I still like it. Um, Now it's from this was released in '95, and it's from a spinoff from the uh, Disney show The Goof Trip, which was released in 1992. Because it was a series with him and his son, so they eventually got their own movie. And then in 2000, it came out with a directed video sequel called An Extremely Goofy Movie. Now that one I have not seen. But I know it's like when Max goes to college and his father, Goofy, is there for some I don't know. But I have not seen the sequel. But I still like this. But I still like the first one, and I have not seen the Goof Trip either. There are certain anime shows that I've watched growing up, and that one was I didn't really watch a whole lot. Well, whole lot. I mean, I have still have not or never watched before. But and it's directed by Kevin Lima, or to say Kevin Lima Beans, because Lima. But this is the first one he directed. But after this, he would co-direct with Chris Buck. Chris Buck, who was one of the directors of Frozen, he co-directed with Chris Buck for directing Tarzan, the 1999 one, which is which I really do enjoy as well. So he helped co-direct the 1999 Tarzan film. Then in 2000 he directed the sequel to 2001 the sequel. I mean 102 Dalmatians. And then in 2007 he go on to direct another Disney film called Enchanted. That was the one with Patrick Dempsey, which I've not seen. I still have not yet to see though. So yeah, after that, but this one I do enjoy. Now, okay, now when the just the whole premise is, Goofy, is Max Goof, but but it's called Max. Um, it's sort of like the last day of school before summer vacation, and the bond between him and his father is a little bit rocky, I would say. Um, because you know how his father is. Goofy is Goofy. I mean, you can't go wrong how Goofy is. He's Goofy. That's what he's supposed to be. But and at school he likes this girl named Roxanne, and he wants to impress her. And there's also this person who's like this rock star singer named Powerline, and like him and his friends, PJ, who is the son of Pete, Pete, who was also who was voiced by Jim Cummings. So his friend, his son PJ, so he's friends with Max, and this other friend of his named Bobby, which oddly enough, even he says he's uncredited though, it's oddly enough the character Bobby, who's with this character, he's like obsessed with cheese, like the spray cheese in the can, he's like obsessed with that, and just just like get like gouges it all down, just like blah blah blah. So that's what it is. That's the thing. He's obsessed with cheese, the canned spray cheese. But I was saying though, even though he's uncredited, Zalian is voiced by Pauly Shore, which I'm sure that no one would remember wouldn't remember him voicing this film. I certainly didn't until when I started rewatching it again. I was like, really, that's Pauly Shore? I'm sure no one would remember, and I wouldn't blame them for remembering. But beside all that, to him, they want to he wants to dress up like this. Max wants to dress up like Powerline, for the look at the theoretical poster on Wikipedia. This shows the poster of him dressing like that, and he wants to perform because he interrupts the principal's speech, which is also voiced by Wallace Shawn, the principal Wallace Shawn, who also voiced some Rex from Toy Story, and he's been in other movies as well. Beside that, yeah, he interrupts the principal's speech to do the performing like Powerline, and that he gets a lot of buzz from that and makes him very popular and impresses the girl Roxanne. But eventually he gets sent. The three of them get sent to his friend Bobby and PJ and him. They get sent to the principal's office. And Goofy, he's working as this baby photographer. He's working with Pete, and he gets a call from the principal, and the principal makes how a big deal as it is, and I forgot what the whole thing he says. It makes Goofy feel concerned because it something horrible will happen. Well, he says get the chair or something. I don't know. It was something like that though. So he gets Goofy all worried. So now Max is coming home. And it's also musical as well. So he gets songs in and out. Now I remember the scene of songs when I watched it growing up, but still back then the songs were not all that memorable to me. Overall, I would say a nitpick I had. I mean, did it have to be a musical as well? It just didn't seem fitting. It just didn't seem to fit with the film. So, yeah, I still don't care for the songs. I still don't. So, because I remember on VHS when during the singing points, I just used to fast forward through them. Shows that back then I didn't care about the songs. And this day I still don't care for the songs. I don't think this didn't need to be a musical though. But when he's singing along, and when he gets to his house, Goofy's already packing up to go on this road trip to them, this spot in Idaho that he went with his father. And he tells, oh, of course, there's another line where oh, where are you going? Oh, I'm going. And Goofy's like, oh, I'm going on this little trip with my best pal. And he's like, oh, and Mac's like, oh, Donald Duck. Yeah, he mentions Donald Duck. He's like, no, you. And Mac's like, and then he faints. His whole life just collapses like in front of his eyes. You know, he goes and faints because he's going on a trip with his father. He doesn't want to. And so they go on this road trip. Before that, though, he goes to Roxanne's house, and then her father, who's this big, huge guy, who's like, really, the father of this cute teenage girl has his father like this, like, who's like almost as big as a house, and and he tells him that he can't go to the concert, but saying that she'll have to go with someone else, but he makes a thing that he will be there and he'll be on the stage at the concert, so it's giving something for her to look forward to. And then he heads with his dad on the road, begin on the road trip, and they start singing another song. Let's see here, what's the song? I think it was like On the Open Road, I think it is. And while they're driving, like everyone's singing, you do get a cameo appearance from Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Like they're in the middle of the road, you know, trying to hitchhike. So you get a little cameo appearance from them. But even though there's a cameo, it's always nice to see Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, because it's Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, along with Goofy as well, you know. So, but they're driving, and Max is for this whole trip. Max just doesn't want to be here, or he just rather go to the concert. And they get to this place, like a theme park, something like where I think it was like a, before I thought it was like a rat, but I think it's a possum, and he doesn't want to be there, and he gets a little bit hurt because like his dad embarrasses him. Because, you know, Goofy has his map that like has marked this route that he went with his father, so he was to go the same way to all these places that he went with. But it's not working with Max. And then they get to this lake, and Pete and PJ, they get to this fancy motor home. Like it unfolds like a whole bunch of things, like with a swimming pool and a bowling alley. And Goofy and Max are Goofy's trying to go fishing with Max, like showing him how to do the perfect cast, the technique that he was shown. And he actually takes Pete's stake and whores it across the lake, and it attracts Bigfoot. So Pete sees Bigfoot, he gets scared, packs up and drives away. And at least another that Goofy and Max, they get stuck in the car, and Bigfoot is, when it's at nighttime, he's sleeping on top of the car, and Goofy's sleeping. And Max is like, you know, like fed up, but he kicks the glove department. He sees the map, so he takes the opportunity to alter the map that goes all the way to Los Angeles. That's where the concert is. So he alters the map without his father noticing because he's sleeping. So then on the next so after that, as they're going on the alternate route, which Goofy doesn't know yet, they've been going to these places. It seems like they're having fun together until they get to this motel. Like the room has like water beds, and PJ and Pete are there again, and Goofy and Pete are sitting in the hot tub. But Pete overhears with Max is telling PJ that he changed the map, so he overhears that, and he tells Goofy, and Goofy is now he's like, he gets in his head that he might be right, but when Max when they're back on the road, and there's a fork, on the they're on the highway. There's one part that goes to Idaho, and one part goes to California, and Goofy's telling him which way to go, and he takes the left, which is the California route, and now Goofy now knows, and he gets upset. He's like this, and he stops the car, and he on a roadside on a I forget where it's on, but they get in an argument, and the car drives off on its own, and it jumps into this river, and they said they're not speaking to each other. But the one thing, listen to the other cars, how typical things, they end up, making up, they're bonding once again as father and son, and when they sing another song, and then just when they're about to go over to the waterfall, Goofy tries to reel him in because he's in the fishing pole, but he gets tossed over the waterfall, but Max, he has the fishing pole, and he has like something I forget using as a parachute, so he used the perfect cast to catch his dad. So he says you do want to go to the concert, and says, I can get you to the concert. I can get you anywhere. It was like how it was, but me, I can get you anything, whatever, how that line went. So they get to the concert, and one thing leads to another. They they end up on the stage with Powerline, like how Max said, and everyone is watching. Like PJ's watching, and Roxanne and Bobby, they're all watching. They see him and his dad dancing with the guy. And at the end, they Goofy and Max, they with the car, as messed up as it is, they drive back to Roxanne's house, and Max knocks on the door, and you get Roxanne's big dad again. His Roxanne's her big daddy, I should say. To the two, they talk, and of course the thing, they have the the love for each other, you can say. And Max he actually says what his Goofy's trademark, saying oh yeah, and then Goofy's car blows up and blows him right out of his shoes, and lands right on the porch roof, and introduces Roxanne to his dad. And then that's when the credits roll. So yeah, it's not much to it. So because it's a short film, so it's a very well fast paced film. And I still like a Goofy movie. I still liked it growing up. I just didn't watch it a whole bunch of times like I did with all the other Disney films. But I still like Goofy. He's always been the classic legendary Disney character, along with Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, as they always have been. Goofy is still Goofy, though, even though he's with his son Max. Well, I actually think Max was an old character. I think wasn't something he was before they did the series of the Goof Trip. I forget, but I think there was some time before that though. But I still like it. It's just still another. I would say it's a classic. I would say for the classic Disney characters standards from Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and Goofy as well. But I still enjoy it. Maybe I will if I get the sequel, I'll give it a watch. But like an extremely goofy movie, if I have the time to. But I'll stick with the first film. So other than the animation was fine. The voice cast. Bill Farmer as voice of Goofy. I thought he still Well, I'm sure it's the same guy who did like from all the old cartoons. So, but still a good impersonation of Goofy. Um, Jason Marsden as Max, I still think he was still good as well. Even though he didn't do the singing voice, it was another person. Jim Cummings as Peter Pete, which he's always like been like the villain of like the three characters of Goofy, Donald, and Mickey Mouse. So, but I still like a Goofy movie. I still do. Just so you know, it's another good film. You grow up watching. Like I said, I didn't watch a bunch of times, but I still liked it. But anyway, yeah, that's a Goofy movie. Anyone still not seen it, if anyone's a fan of the Disney or any of the classic character, I would still check it out. If I was checking it out, give a recommendation. And when I find the time, I'll look for the sequel and I'll give it a watch. Though I've not yet seen the series, the Goof Troop, but. Although I find it funny that down here on the back it says Disney's critically acclaimed hit comedy. Critically acclaimed, I call that a false statement because if it was critically acclaimed, it would not have 53% Rotten Tomatoes. If it was critically acclaimed, it would probably like a high 87% or in the 90s% of Rotten Tomatoes. So, yeah, that right there is where we find it. Yeah, critically acclaimed hit. I mean, the film was a hit though. Not that huge, but surpassing its budget. So it was a hit, but critically acclaimed down here, that's a false statement, because otherwise it would not have a 53% Rotten Tomatoes. It would probably have like a 89 or 90 to 95% Rotten Tomatoes. So that's a false statement. But at least Siskel and Ebert, they gave it a thumbs up, which is surprising for a type of Disney film like this. But hey, Gene Siskel, he gave Baby's Day Out a thumbs up, even though Roger Ebert gave it a thumbs down. Though for a family comment like that, at least Gene Siskel gave it a thumbs up. And I mean, I like Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel. They give thumbs up and thumbs downs to films I do like and dislike, though. But it's all opinions, though. But hey, I still enjoy the film. So give it a watch. I would recommend it. If anyone who is a fan of the classic character Goofy. He's still Goofy, but he's a father, and even though he screws up and he's acting goofy though, but he means well, but tries to help rekindle his relationship with his son Max. Tries to be still the nice father still, but I still like the film. So that's my review for a Goofy movie. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.